Hello everyone, and welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we'll be crafting a leather lunch bag. Here is the display of the finished result. First, inspect all materials. If any issues arise, contact Babylon official support. If there are no issues, please start making. First, take a look at this shoulder strap material. Locate the button on the shoulder strap, press it down, and push it backward to open the shoulder strap buckle like this. Put it back in place and release the button to secure it. Take the zipper material. The side with the zipper pull is the front. There are two handle loop pieces. There are also two zipper tape materials, which will be placed in this position. One front panel piece. One back panel piece. First, let's identify the front and back sides of each material. Look at the hole sizes. The larger holes indicate the front side, and the smaller holes indicate the back side. Start by taking the handle material with the front side facing up. Measure out 8 times the length of the stitching area in thread, then cut it. You can always measure a bit more than needed. There will definitely be enough thread. Open the thread roll from the toolkit and take out 2 needles. Set the remaining needles aside as backup. Now start threading the needle. First, pass the thread through the eye of the needle. Then pierce the thread through its middle with the tip of the needle. Pull it tight. Now the needle is properly threaded. Repeat the same method on the other end of the thread with the second needle. Put on a finger protector. It's used to protect your fingers. Wear it on the finger you use to pull the thread. Begin sewing by inserting the first needle from the bottom to the top through the first hole. Pass the second needle through the second hole. Pull both ends of the thread evenly to keep the lengths equal. Then insert the first needle through the second hole. Make sure not to pierce the thread. Next, insert the same needle through the third hole and tighten the thread. Now the starting stitch is complete. Continue sewing with the double needle stitching method. After each stitch, pull the thread tight. Keep the thread direction consistent and avoid piercing the thread. Don't skip any holes. Always pull the thread vertically to avoid damaging the leather. Be mindful of these steps with every stitch. No further reminders will be given. Sew around the entire circle of holes in the order demonstrated, until the stitches connect at the end. After sewing all the holes, start finishing the thread. First, backstitch 1 hole for reinforcement. Then pass the threads to the back side. A 3 mm, trim the threads, and carefully burn the ends with a lighter bit by bit. Be careful not to burn the threads black or scorch the leather. This completes the thread finishing. Repeat the same method to finish the other thread end. Trim off any leftover thread on the needles like this and discard it. Take the handle loop piece and measure 10 times the length of thread, then thread the needles as usual. The front side of this piece is the leather side. Make sure it's facing up. Start stitching from the second hole, and use the double needle stitching method to sew down this piece. Stop after stitching up to the second to last hole in this row. Flip the handle loop so the bottom faces up. Place the back panel face up like this. Take the lower end of the handle loop and pass it through the top large hole like this. Insert the needle through the large hole first. Then pass the upper end of the handle loop through the lower large hole like this. Flip the back panel over to the reverse side. Take the thread from the back of the handle and pass it through the first hole in the back panel. Be careful not to pierce the leather. Then go through the corresponding hole on the handle loop piece. Next, go from the front to the back through the upper hole. If you can't see the hole, spread the leather apart like this. Pull the thread tight. Now take the needle on the right and stitch leftward from the bottom to the top. Then insert the needle through the corresponding hole in the other row. Take the other needle and pass it through in the same way. Continue stitching the other row using the same method. Make sure to take the needle that came from the other side and stitch to the left like this. Continue stitching the next hole with this needle. Then take the other needle and stitch to the right. With this needle, pierce the thread intentionally like this to lock the stitch in place. This helps secure the stitching. Then pass it from the front to the back through the original hole. between the two layers of the handle loop material. Use the same needle to continue stitching the next hole on the handle loop material. Take the other needle and also pierce the thread to secure it. Then pass it through the original hole to the other side, coming out from the gap between the back panel and handle loop. Then pass this needle through the next hole in the handle loop material. Now both needles are on the handle loop piece. Continue stitching this piece only, as this part is for decorative stitching. Be careful not to hurt yourself. After reaching this point, pass both needles through the large hole to the other side like this. Then bring the remaining holes to be sewn over to the same side. This makes it easier to stitch. Finish stitching this circle of holes normally, connect the stitches, and finally secure the threads on the back side. Check the finished result. There should be a gap on this side after sewing. Sew the other side using the same method. Take a look at the final result after both sides are sewn. Take the handle material, with both pieces facing front side up. Assemble them together like this. Install the other side using the same method. Then take the two zipper tape materials and the zipper material. Make sure the right angled edges of the two zipper tape materials face inward, and the slanted edges face outward. Measure 1 time the stitching length of thread and thread the needles normally. Align the two materials with their front sides facing up, matching the holes. Start sewing from the second hole on the back side. Insert the second needle through this position. There is no hole on the zipper. Sew forward normally to complete these 4 holes, and then secure the thread on the back side. Be careful not to pierce the zipper teeth on the 3rd stitch, otherwise it will push the zipper open. After sewing, secure the thread on the back side. Sew the other side using the same method. Measure 4 times the stitching length of thread and thread the needles normally. Take the back panel material. Align the two materials with their front sides facing up and match the holes. Start sewing from the first hole. Be careful not to sew the wrong hole. Insert the needle from the bottom to the top through the first hole. Then pass it through the first hole of the back panel material. Use the double needle stitching method to sew forward normally. The first 2 stitches are on the zipper where there are no holes. You need to blindly guide the needle to the correct position. It is not difficult, just be careful not to sew incorrectly. From the 3rd stitch onward, you can see the holes clearly. Then sew forward normally using the double needle stitching method. Take a look at the stitching results so far. While sewing, you might notice that the back panel material appears slightly longer than the zipper material. This is normal. The number of holes matches, but the material is intentionally a bit longer to create a curve when bent. After finishing this row of holes, secure the thread on the back side. Check the stitching result after finishing. Use the same method to sew the other row of holes. The first 2 stitches will sew only the back panel material, then continue sewing normally and finish by securing the thread on the back side. This part will not be demonstrated again. Check the stitching result after completing both sides. Next, take the front panel material and align the holes. Measure 4 times the stitching length of thread and thread the needles normally. Start sewing from the first hole. Sew normally, being careful not to stitch the wrong hole. The method is the same as before, so it will not be explained again. Check the stitching result after completing. Now start sewing this area. Tie 3 knots at this hole to mark it. If you have purchased Babylon positioning pins, you can mark the spot directly with the pin. Mark the same hole on the other side as well. Measure 4 times the stitching length of thread and thread the needles normally. First, flip the material over so the back side is facing up, then fold it like this. Align the 2 corresponding holes. Insert the first needle through these 2 holes. Insert the second needle through the second hole. Then sew forward normally. Using clips to hold the materials will make sewing easier. It is important to pull the thread tightly here for a neat final result. Sew forward normally. When reaching the corner, position the material like this for easier sewing. Be careful not to sew the wrong hole. Make sure to sew every hole even if it has been stitched once already. No holes should be skipped. Stop sewing when you reach the marked hole. At this point, pass the needle through the zipper tape. Be careful not to pierce the zipper teeth, otherwise it will push the zipper open. Before reaching the marked hole, you can cut off the marking thread. After sewing the marked hole, reinforce by backstitching to stitches, then finish and secure the thread on either side. Check the result after sewing. Sew the other side using the same method. After sewing both sides, turn the bag inside out like this. Start by turning one corner first. It must be done in one smooth motion without stopping halfway. Then turn the other corner. Use your fist or the pads of your fingers to push out the edges. Do not use your fingernails to avoid damaging the leather. Shape the bag neatly. During the process, you may notice some creases on the leather surface, although in this demonstration there are no creases. If there are creases, press them gently between your palms for a few minutes to warm the leather and smooth them out. Measure 4 times the stitching length of thread and thread the needles normally. First, unzip the zipper. Insert the first needle from the bottom to the top through the first unsewn hole. Then use the same needle to pass through the first unsewn hole on the other side. Then insert the second needle through the second hole. Sew forward normally. After sewing, the result will look like this. The first few stitches might feel a bit tight, so be patient and careful not to sew incorrectly. Be careful not to pierce the thread and always pull the thread tight. When reaching this area, you can use one hand inside the zipper to support the leather for easier stitching. If you accidentally pierce the thread, remove the stitch carefully and go back to the last good hole, re-thread the needle, and continue sewing. Use this method to complete sewing this row of holes, making sure not to sew the wrong hole. For the last few holes, you will need to work from inside the bag. Be careful not to poke yourself. After finishing, secure the thread inside the bag. stitching with one hand to make cutting easier. Be careful not to cut the leather. Next, tidy up the shape of the bag. Then take the shoulder strap material, open it like this, and assemble it. Finished. Thank you for choosing Babylon Leather. Wishing you the acquisition of valuable skills during your time here. If you've enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. For more information about this Babylon Leather DIY kit, check out the link and details in the description. Thanks for watching.